Next we have places, so we're going to get into the actual places. Unlike neighborhoods, places obviously is not a fixed amount of post types, so there's going to be a lot more. And right now I really only just put a couple filler ones, just because it really wouldn't make a lot of sense to just start creating a bunch of imaginary and fictitious places. A couple things you'll notice here is that you have the name of the place, you have the author, the date it was published, etc. So if we were to go into Blue Place, and for example, actually let me go back and do a quick edit. From here you can actually change who the author is. So that's where the quick edit sometimes is it's faster than doing it a different way. So you could definitely change it to someone else and get my name off there. And this menu, by the way, will be determined based on how many users you've added. So going back to that first video, it's important to kind of add all your users from the beginning. So that's kind of one of the reasons that was the first video. Add all your users, and then you'll know how to add more as time comes, remove others as they're not needed, etc. But that's where this list is pulling its information from, is from the users. Okay, let's just cancel that and go into the Blue Place. So we're going to first look at the actual post type, and then we're going to look at adding a new one. So when you click into it, you're going to see it looks very similar to neighborhoods. The name of this up here, again, is what dictates the name on the list. So this fictitious place, so let's click on places, is in Adams Morgan. So you'll see Blue Place here and the red building here. So let's go into Blue Place. Or before we do that, this name right here is what determines what it says here. And this name up here is what determines the name on the actual page. So let's go to the page. That's what determines this name right here, Blue Place. So if you want, for whatever reason, to have a different name on the page versus the link, maybe the name of the place is very long, so you want to make the name on the link shorter so that it all stays on one line, and then when you actually get into the place itself, you want this name to be a little longer. I'm just giving a possible example, then you would edit it here. So they are different places. So keep that in mind, that if in one place you see, why is there a the Blue Place? In the other area on the link it just says Blue Place. Well, generally speaking, it'll be one of these two that are different. So as a rule of thumb, just keep them both the same and you won't have a problem. We go down, and of course places as well have a big hero image here, so that will be customizable. We went over this in the neighborhood video, but essentially you could just delete this one, go into add image. If there is no image here, make sure to upload your file and then select it from here. Again, all this information is very unnecessary. Hit select and you'll see that the image should populate, and again, when you're done, update. About this place is the information that you will see right here. So whatever you type in here is directly what will go into that area. The same is true for the listing information, which is down here. And the contact form is not included in this area, but you'll see, since places do have a gallery, there is a spot for the gallery. And when we get to the gallery screencast, we'll go over how that works. One thing that is absolutely important is this neighborhoods list here on the side. This is what dictates what neighborhood this place will be in. If you do not select any of these, they will not show up in the places list. I wanted to try to make this as easy as possible, so I just made it in a checkbox format. So you would just check or uncheck the neighborhood that it pertains to, and then click update. And because you've selected that neighborhood, it will now appear in the neighborhood places list. It's as simple as that. So we go into place as well. we will go into the contact form in another screencast, because that's kind of, I'll show you how to handle the comments coming in. Okay, so yeah, we'll go into the contact form in a little bit. Moving into the gallery, we'll get into that later, but basically the gallery images will be populated from a different place, and the gallery images work with a lightbox that you can just click through or click away to close. Back to Places takes you, of course, to the places of the current neighborhood you're in, and that covers the places and how to edit them. So now let's go into how you would add one. This was kind of a little difficult to determine one thing, and I'll be completely honest about that, is that as this places list grows, there is no quick way to see what neighborhood it belongs to. So detailed naming is important, and there is no way in WordPress as of today still to kind of categorize and group certain post types into any kind of relevant fashion. It's just not the way WordPress was designed. But now it's becoming more of a CMS. I take it that at some point they will incorporate a feature like that, or a plugin will be created to be able to organize these places. But as a warning, this is just going to become a very long list of places broken down by pagination, where you'll just go from one page of 20 places to another page of 20 places, etc. There is a search bar, so that does help. So if you know the name of the place, by all means enter it here and search it. This is going to be, I think, even more important as this list of places becomes very big. The only other place is to do a quick edit, see what neighborhood it belongs to. So unfortunately, those are your only options at this point in finding the place. Adding some kind of prefix like, Adams Morgan Blue Place is not going to work, because you will be effectively altering the name of the place on the page. So that would be right here. So if you were to put Adams Morgan Blue Place, it would show up right there. So that is not something I would recommend. That's why there is no other way other than checking the quick edit to see what neighborhood it pertains to, or just doing a word search for that specific place. And of course, now again, it's easy because there's 4 of them, but as you get into more of them, it will become harder to kind of manage that. So just kind of throwing that out there. So now that we have that under control, we're going to add a new place. So let's add a title here, and I'm just going to call this the Black Room. That's not a very good name for a place, but and I'm going to add this one to Brooklyn, and the name of the place, following that rule of just keeping them the same, is also going to be the Black Room. We're going to add this image, and moving along here, if you already have your information ready, that's wonderful, because you just come in here and you literally can complete this in just a few minutes, if not seconds. There is no gallery, and we'll get into how to add the gallery, so I'm going to skip that for right now. That's going to be the only thing you will need to add, but note that you will have to add this little snippet here for all your galleries. The only parameter that's going to change here, or value rather, is that number. So later when we get into the gallery, I'll show you that really this is just going to become a matter of changing that number. Oh, it's gallery ID 24, or it's gallery ID 67. It's as simple as that. The only reason why I can't have this auto-populate here is because places are created on the fly. So this is something you're going to have to insert yourself. But as I just showed you, I even have the little snippet right there. It's very easy to do this. And you can just go ahead and add the snippet, and then once you've created the gallery, when I show you how to do that, just add the ID right where that cursor is blinking, and you're good to go. So for right now, I'm just going to leave it at 1, and we've already selected our neighborhood. If you haven't done that, make sure to do that, and then we're going to publish it. All right, and then we're going to go back into neighborhoods. We're going to go into Brooklyn. We're going to go into places, and the black room is now there. So that's very simple. It's not much else to it. As you can see, the content that we entered is already populated, and the gallery, because we put gallery 1, will probably be just repeating that gallery. Okay, so I don't think I even have a gallery 1 because it's not calling it in here yet. So we'll fix that in the coming video and give it a proper gallery ID so that it's pulling in some content. On that note, however, you may, for whatever, I don't know, there may be a reason where you just kind of have two places that share the same gallery. The good part about that is you would only have to create the gallery one time and reference it in both places under their ID. Going back to places, let's go back home. That pretty much covers the how to edit and add a place, and how to so far we've been over editing the neighborhoods. So I'll keep this short and we'll move on to the next video. Thank you very much.